EA versus CPA. You've probably heard these terms if you're looking for an accounting service. What's the difference? Which one do I choose? Watch this video to find out. All right, let's jump right into it. What do these acronyms actually mean? EA stands for Enrolled Agent. CPA stands for Certified Public Accountant. They both require a certain amount of continuing education. Therefore, an EA or a CPA can be a mark of professionalism or expertise. This is not to say that an accountant that doesn't have a CPA or an EA is not knowledgeable. It's just they might be limited in certain things that they can and can't do. A CPA or an EA can perform certain tasks with the recognition of the state or the IRS, and in some situations, this is required. All right, so what's the difference between the two? Let's start by defining each one individually. What is a CPA? A CPA is an accountant specialized in a broad array of finance and tax knowledge. Becoming a CPA is more rigorous, but is not as specialized in tax. So their roles include things like corporate accountants, general accountants, executives, and in some cases, financial planners. CPAs are licensed in the state in which they practice. The state has certain rules and regulations in which the CPA must abide. Well, the major difference between a CPA and an EA is that a CPA can work with publicly traded companies. The main reason for this is because of audited financial statements that a CPA can do that an EA cannot. It comes into play with governing bodies with the SEC and other things of that nature. What is an EA? An EA is a licensed tax professional recognized by the IRS and is more specialized in tax. They typically work in accounting roles, doing things like financial statements, tax planning, tax preparation, and also advising clients on new tax rules. EAs are required to complete a certain amount of continuing education credits. This ensures that they're up to date on all the tax law changes. The IRS requires that enrolled agents follow certain ethical and professional guidelines. Now, which one do you choose? First, let's talk about the similarities between the two. Both CPAs and EAs are essentially accountants with just a little bit more recognition through continuing education. Whether they're working as an individual or at an accounting firm, they'll still perform duties such as tax preparation, bookkeeping, things of this nature. The major thing that a CPA or EA can do for you that other accountants cannot is represent you in front of the IRS. This can become very important in the case of an IRS audit, in which case both can represent you. There are a few very specific things that a CPA can do that an EA cannot. But in general, both are very good options for your accounting needs. Some accounting services will even have CPAs and EAs on staff. The major difference between a CPA and an EA is that a CPA can represent a publicly traded company, where an EA cannot. An EA might be more up to date on tax law because they're more focused on tax. However, a CPA working in accounting is likely to be just as knowledgeable. Ultimately, a business owner doesn't need to be that concerned whether their accountant is a CPA or an EA. It's not a bad idea to have a higher level of education, and there are certain tasks that require a CPA or an EA. For example, representation in front of the IRS or working with a publicly traded company. For the most part, these are just indicators of continuing education. An EA or a CPA license is not required to do accounting work. Even an accountant without a CPA or an EA license could be just as good. They are just limited in certain things they can and can't do. With that being said, CSI Accounting has both CPAs and EAs and can help you out in any situation. So if you have any more specific questions about how to choose an accountant, please check out our Learning Center or our YouTube channel. Or if you're ready to take the next step, schedule a free consultation. We'd love to answer all of your questions. Thanks for watching. See you next time.